Hello and welcome. My name is Venus Jenkins. I'm the Senior Manager of Transmission and Distribution Performance Management. And I will be walking through 2019 Southern California Edison Reliability Review. Next slide, please. Today's agenda is we're going to talk about SCE as a whole. We're going to go over what does reliability mean and how we at Southern California Edison measure it. And then we will transition over to 2019 actual year reliability results and how to access this information online for each city, for each community in our territory. And lastly, we will look at what is Southern California Edison doing in reliability improvements in 2019. And how we are continuing to modernize our grid in future to further these improvements. At the end, I will be inviting my colleague Dave Lowry, and we will have some time to answer the questions together. Next slide, please. Who we are. Southern California Edison is one of the 3 investor-owned utilities in the state of California. On the right, you see the map of our territory spread over 50,000 square miles. And I think we'll go to the next slide. How we serve. At Southern California Edison, we are focused on delivering safe, reliable, and affordable clean power. We have a vast network of electrical assets resulting in a grid that spans over 119,000 miles of transmission and distribution lines with approximately 4,600 circuits delivering on an order of 23,000 megawatt of electric power needs, peak electric power needs. Next slide. Now we are going to talk about the reliability definition and how we measure it. Next slide. In simplest terms, what reliability means is when you turn on your light switch, first, does it come on and does it stay on? That's what reliable power means. Given that simple definition, how do we look at reliability? We look at 3 different types of outages: maintenance outages, which are our planned outages, and customer will get a notification either in the form of a mailer or text or email or all of the above prior to the maintenance outage. This helps us do preventive maintenance, replace, repair equipment as needed. The second category is repair outages. These are the unplanned outages. Time to time, customer may experience unexpected interruption. We further classify repair outages into 2 categories or 2 submetrics, which are sustained outages and momentary outages. Sustained outages are outages greater than 5 minutes, and momentary outages are less than 5 minutes. A simple example would be like today, a branch may hit a wire and may come off, and a circuit may be interrupted momentarily and then reconnects, and the power flows through. That may be a 30 second to 1 minute interruption. So that would be considered a momentary outage. Whereas sustained outage would be, once again, on a windy day, a branch actually falls on a power line and stays there, and we have to roll out crews, hence greater than 5 minutes. And that's the distinction between sustained and momentary outages. The third category is public safety power shutoff, where we are proactively shutting down the circuits to prevent wildfires with focus on public safety. With these 3 outages, we also focus on what is not included in the measure. The first one is major event day, or MED. This is when time to time customer may experience outage well beyond the normal duration due to a windstorm or wildfire. Basically a severe weather event or something out of norm. Similar to this, PSPS falls under a similar category and not included in the calculation as well. Next slide, please. So given those categories, what are the tangible calculations? What are the formulas? As you can see, there are 4 metrics we are looking at: SCE, SAFE, MAFE, CAIDI. Starting with SCE, which is also the industry standard, System Average Interruption Duration Index. Very much a mouthful, but what is it saying is, in simple terms, is on average, what is the duration of customer experiences within a given year? Or what is the total time my power service will be expectedly interrupted? So SCE, the key word here is duration. If we go down to the second metric, SAFE, System Average Frequency Duration Index, there we are focused on frequency. How many times on average a customer experiences outage within a given year? So how many times frequency is what we are looking at. MAFE, the formula is not here, but it is to account for the momentary outages that I mentioned in the previous slide. CAIDI is actually the ratio of SCE and SAFE. And what it's telling us is, how long did it take Southern California Edison? How long did it take us to restore your power? Basically, the duration divided by the frequency. So the main ones, once again, are SCE, that's the duration. SAFE, that's the frequency, how many times. MAFE is the momentary outages frequency. And then CAIDI is the ratio determining how long did it take us to restore the power. Next slide, please. Now, given those definitions and calculations, we will look at how did Southern California Edison performed in 2019. Next slide, please. On this chart, we have the 4 metrics that I described in previous slides: SCE, SAFE, MAFE, CAIDI. Once again, duration, frequency, momentary frequency, and then restoration time. As you can see on the first chart, the SCE, the duration, overall trend is a downward slope, excluding the outlier year of 2018. What it's saying is that overall trend downward slope means the duration of the outage on average has gone down over the last 9 to 10 years. Now, if we look at SAFE and MAFE, the frequency tables are showing that the trend is mostly flat. The frequency has remained flat. The number of outages a customer experiences on average within a year has remained sort of flat. And then we look at CAIDI, also slightly downward trend. So what it's saying is that the frequency has remained the same. However, the duration is shrinking or incrementally going down. So overall, given the historical data in the last 9 to 10 years, Southern California Edison's performance and reliability is incrementally improving. Next slide, please. We also look at the drivers behind these outages. And in this pie chart, we're looking at the major causes behind these outages. 40%, as you look at this pie chart, 40% could be attributed to overhead or underground equipment. Other causes are third party, where we may have a car hit a pole or a Mylar balloon hit a power line. And then we have other categories. Operation is when our crews are out performing the maintenance outage. They may discover something new, and that may add to the unplanned outage. So these are the drivers, and these also give us the focus area to look at opportunities for further improvement. Next slide, please. We also look at the 1% worst performing circuits system-wide for SCE, which is the duration. And if you could go to the next slide, please. SAFE is the frequency. Once again, these 1% worst performing circuits give us sort of a North Star from reliability perspective, the areas we need to focus on for further improvement. Next slide, please. Now, on the next few slides, we will talk about how you can access this information for your own community or your city, the local reliability reports. Next slide. If you go to SCE.com, on the top bar, you will see a menu, and once you click on the menu, you click on Outage Center, and there will be a drop-down menu. From the drop-down menu, you will select Reliability Reports. When you click on that, you could type in your zip code, you could type in your city or area, and it will have the report. We produce over 240 city reliability presentations, and it includes a lot of the information I shared in the previous slides, as the circuits that are in your city, how are the circuits reliability performance, and some of the drivers behind the outages in your area, and the capital investments specific to reliability in your area as well. Next slide, please. This is reiterating that each city report will also have a list of all the circuits, and once again, the metrics that we track, SAIDI, SAFE, MAFE, will also be included with the historical information as well. Similar to system-wide view of SCE, we also dissect it at city level. What are the major causes behind outages per city or community? And the list is, as some of them I identified in previous slides, it's the same exact list. Next slide, please. Capital improvement work. The map on the right also identifies the circuits or specific areas where we are investing capital dollars, be it in pole replacement or circuit rebuild or just electrical equipment replacement, be it transformers and similar items to increase the reliability in that city. 2019, now system-wide 2019 reliability improvements. In the next few slides, we will cover that. Next slide, please. As I mentioned earlier in the pie chart, 40% could be attributed to underground equipment or overhead equipment outage or the outage drivers. That's why #1 priority in the reliability improvement space is infrastructure reliability. That means updating our underground cables, poles, switches, and transformers. And what the next priority, equally important, or it's not even ranked in order, is wildfire mitigation. There used to be a wildfire season, now it's year-round, so hence it's very high priority too, and hence our focus where we are looking at hardening infrastructure and increasing situational awareness, etc. And then the next three are our ongoing focus areas of transmission, grid readiness, and long-term energy policy. So some of the tangibles in the reliability space for capital investment, we have completed 179 miles of underground cable replacement, over 500 miles of overhead conductor replaced. That is our grid hardening. Over 16,000 distribution poles replaced, and about 4,500 transmission poles replaced. Next slide. And in general, I would like to thank you guys for taking the time to join us today. At Southern California Edison, we will continue to build upon the progress that was made in 2019. We're carrying it forward to 2020, and we continue to work to install high-tech wildfire mitigation tools and technologies to make our community safer and more resilient. Thank you. At this point, I would like to bring my colleague Dave Lowry to help answer some of the questions too, and both of us will take questions at this point. Well, thank you for your time. It looks like we have no questions. Thank you again. Have a great rest of the day.